Hey folks, Jimmy from the Undercard here again, bringing you episode 103 Clip Show. On the show, we talk to Adam Munzing, who talks a little bit about Krav Maga. We also have boxer Alicia Slick Ashley. Enjoy the show.
What's effective out of the different martial arts systems, combat systems. So we use strikes out of Western boxing, Muay Thai, Savate, Wing Chun, grappling from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, stick and knife fighting out of Kali. And we basically put it all together, take what's effective and what will work to survive in a violent street attack. The goal and objective is to eliminate the threat as quickly as possible. It's not so much about fighting a person as it is about surviving that situation, eliminating the threat. So we always go into situations where we're either going to disengage or go into control positions to where we can affect them greater than they can affect us.
Right. Background, though, I know Israel self-defense, is that correct?
Absolutely. So it grew up through Second World War. Emil Lichtenfeld created it, and there's different theories about its origin, but it's definitely grew up through Israel. And Emil Lichtenfeld was a boxer.
To do with you because being around MMA for a few years here and stuff like that, I just wanted to give you maybe a stereotype or something I heard, and then you tell me if it's true with Krav Maga. Sure. First, the big thing that is on the streets for somebody that's not stepped into a place that teaches it is always that it's tough to practice it because it is so brutal that you can't spar with people.
So the way that we deal with that is, so we have to teach people how to throw strikes. So we're teaching them, just like in boxing, we'll have the focus mitts out, or we'll have the bag, and we'll throw combinations and show the pivoting of the hips to generate power. So we'll have training like that. But then we constantly drill rapid forward aggression, rapid assault aggression, like that, to get that into your muscle memory. So sometimes we're working on pads, sometimes we're slowly touching the people where we would normally, like if we're going for ear boxing or going for the eyes, we'll actually slowly touch them there to generate that muscle memory. Because the way that you train is how you're going to react when you have a violent street attack and you're dealing with this massive adrenaline rush.
You're just creating like reactions.
Yeah, so we're making different memory links. So sometimes to generate the power, we'll do focus mitts and bag work to throw the punches right, and then we'll actually do the distances and the angles with the partner at a lower speed. Then we'll have dummies where we're actually hitting the dummy and entering in through these ranges and moving around like that. So we have different approaches to that. Now, we do sparring as well. Because you can hit pads all day. You can hit pads and you can go to the slow stuff, but if you're not actually dealing with the resisting opponent...
Yeah, they're not hitting you back.
Right, they're not hitting you back. You have to feel that. You have to get the angles, the distancing, the timing, and you have to really be able to enter and not be so afraid of it. When people first get into the sparring, they're kind of timid with it. They don't know what to expect.
Right.
So just doing it over and over really teaches them the sensitivity and enables them to actually put the stuff that we practice into use. And also, so we have sparring class like that where we'll take out the eye gouges and the groin strikes and we'll do just standard MMA type sparring. Then, so say there's two people that are fighting, the dynamic of the fight changes. So say we're in a bar, some guy comes up, grabs me, punches me, all right, we're punching each other back and forth. Dude grabs a bottle, hits me in the head, now the bottle breaks, now it's edge weapon to open hand. Then they'll follow the ground, then they're grappling and trying to get up, whatever. So the fight, the ranges change in a fight. And the way that we simulate that or deal with that is we'll have, kickboxing. So these guys are sparring kickboxing. Obviously, for safety reasons, we're not hitting each other in the eyes or the groin. But then we'll throw a knife in there, a fake knife. And then they'll fight to get to positioning into that knife. And then they're dealing with the Kali techniques that they know of moving around that knife and how to deal with the knife. So the guy with the knife is playing offensively with his Kali tactics, and the guy without is dealing with that and trying to stay away and entering in when he can. And then we'll say, grappling. So then they'll drop the knives, or maybe I'll throw a stick in there, and it'll be stick to knife. And then they'll go into grappling. So we spar like that to get the people to comprehend the transitions of fighting. You have to be able to transition through different ranges.
So have you had
I dropped a girl off at a bus station in D.C., and at Union Station, the bus stop is behind it, and I didn't realize that we'd have to go a walk a little way, and it was like 2 in the morning or something. So I'm walking back, and after I dropped her off and I had a suit on, and these 2 guys start coming out of the shadows at me, and so I immediately go into my coat, dial 911 on my phone. I didn't call it, but I had it ready, and I'm staring at them, walking briskly away from them. Then they started cutting across at me, and I just kind of kept aware of them and just kept going. They stopped. So confidence absolutely has a play on people choosing victims. So being that I've worked with a lot of police, one of my friends, Darcy Lutzinger, he's works with a bunch of security stuff in the area. So he's did a major study and talked to a lot of criminals and different people. And question them, like, what do you look for in people, and the people that got away from you, like these are rapists and muggers and stuff like that. What are you looking for in targets? And they always look for the easiest prey. It's just like a lion. They're not going to go after the
they don't want to work for it.
Yeah,
they just want to get it and go.
Yep, exactly. Same exact thing. So if they see someone with their head down or they're looking on their phone, easy target, they don't see the person coming, that's what they're going to go for. But if this person's out, in the situation, I see this person over here, stay back, stay away from me, it's much less likely a victim than the person who's not as confident or aware of their situation.
We're being joined by Adam Munzing from Meta.
Hello.
Hi, Alicia. This is Brad. You're live on the Undercard. How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thank you.
Good. We are joined by Alicia Slick Ashley, one of the most famous boxers in female boxing. Still fighting at age 47 here, so you're like the Bernard Hopkins of women's boxing.
Definitely, I love that reference.
Before we get too far, can you actually settle something? We were just talking while we were calling you up. Are you from Jamaica the Island or Jamaica the Island in Queens?
The island.
Okay, the actual island
See,
itself.
I told
All right,
you.
we just wanted to make sure.
I do my research.
Well, because Rochelle's like, no, she's in Brooklyn, and I'm like, so wait, do you mean Jamaica?
Right, is she off the Van Wyck
Right,
Expressway
yeah.
or what?
Okay, so actually, all right, cool, awesome, that's awesome.
Long career you've had. You're still going at it. Just fought recently in September. What keeps you going? What's the end goal here for you?
Well, you know what? I definitely love the sport. That's what it is. I completely love the sport. For me, it's the strategy of it. You know, I'm not making any money, so it has to be the love of it.
And still going at it at 47 and starting, I believe it was
Can I
1999.
give you a high
you started-
five through the radio? High five.
I accept it.
Awesome.
Starting your career in 1997, training at Gleason's Gym. Do you still train there at Gleason's?
Yes, and I'm also a trainer there.
Oh, very great. So, you're just doing it for the love. So, are you going to do it until your body quits on you, or do you have like in the back of your mind a time frame of like if I hit 50 and everything's going good, that's when I'll hang it up?
I'm going to wait until Bernard retires.
There you go. There you
Then
go.
I'm going to do one more after.
That's actually smart. Good marketing, too. Something also great about your career is that you've never lost by knockout. You've lost by decision, but you've never been knocked out in a fight.
I've never been knocked down either.
Yeah, how good chin or good defense? How does
I
that come
don't get hit.
You don't get it?
Yeah. It's the Mr. Miyagi
It's
best block
boxing,
will be
it's
there.
movement, and that came from when I was a dancer. So I'm more of a mover than staying there and getting it. That's also why I'm still in the sport, this longevity, because I haven't been hit in the way other people have.
Now, you started off in your career, you had more losses in your beginning of your career, and then around the 2011 year versus Crystal Hoy, you started to put together like a win streak here. How did you get better with age? Was there somebody that came into your career that helped you dramatically, or did it just click for you? All of a sudden, boxing became easier.
Well, the thing about it is that in the beginning of my career, I had, one win, then a loss, then a win, then a loss. And it's also because of not picking and choosing the fights. I wanted to fight. Even from my first fight, I fought in Atlantic City. It was a 6-rounder. I fought someone who was a professional kickboxer, and this was her first, boxing. But she was a professional for a lot of years before that. So all the fights that I started out was really, really tough fights. If you look at the record of the other people.
So it was more like you just wanted to get out there and you didn't care who you were out there with?
Yeah, and I fought in higher weight classes also. I think as much as 140.
So did I. Yeah.
And then I went, this is not doing me any good. So, we finally settled at 122, and it's just, that was it, just getting a better management and just figuring out what we needed to do.
Now you're kind of the spokesperson, I would say. There's a few of you out there for women's boxing. Layla Ali came along, and the sport had a little bit of a resurgence in popularity. What has to happen for women's boxing to become on the level that women's MMA has now become? Like, is it need to have more girls in it? Do you need to be paid what men are paid?
You know what? I think we have quite a few women in the sport. There's no shortage of women in boxing.
But they just don't. It doesn't seem like they get the recognition that the men do.
Exactly. And we just addressed this at the WBC convention that just happened in Cancun. The first female convention there is Mauricio Suleiman. He brought together, he invited the IBF and the WBA to be a part of this convention to try to help women's boxing get on the, this big stage. And that's the thing. We had Christy Martin at one point. We had Layla Ali. That did generate some interest, but there were just two women. They were not, the promoters didn't go further from there. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Dana White didn't want to put women on, in his things. And then when he realized the marketing factor of having this Ronda Rousey, headlining, she headlines.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing. Boxing isn't. They're not headlining women, especially here in the USA.
Yeah,
in other countries, which I've gone to and fought in other countries, I've been at the headline.
That's what we were talking to Melissa Smith, who wrote The History of Women's Boxing. She had said that women in the United States are definitely not getting the recognition they get when they do travel out of the country.
Yeah, I fought in Germany. I fought in Argentina, Mexico a couple of times. I fought all around the world, and those fights are televised and are headlines. I mean, Regina Hamlisch in Germany made so much money because she was the face of boxing there.
Yeah, and then you have...
And the thing is that it's not going to get to the recognition it needs until the USA is the one that jumps on that bandwagon.
And for you guys to even make money, you have to travel out of the country as well then, right?
Exactly, and even that, it's still not comparable. And that's another big thing we're talking about. One thing that the promoters keep saying is that, it's you guys aren't doing 3-minute rounds.
Now, do you think...
We're doing 2-minute rounds. But,
right.
But the thing that I say is that if you pay us by the minute, we're not getting, a fourth of what the guys are making.
Exactly.
Now, do you think like a Holly Holm going over to MMA, could that maybe be a bright spot to your sport because people will go, well, where did she come from? She was an undefeated boxer. Or do you think it's bad for your sport, a quality boxer like that did have some drawing ability leaving to go to MMA?
I think it's bad for the sport because it's taking her away from the sport. The spotlight is no longer on boxing. She's now in MMA. They might just go, because she was this boxer, but we're not having a Holly Holm anymore. So that's one less talent that we had.
We are joined by Alicia Slick Ashley, who's still going at it at 47 years of age. She said she's waiting for Bernard Hopkins to retire, and then she's going to do one more fight. Seems like a pretty good deal. Bernard Hopkins obviously has become a good fighter at his late age. Obviously, some skills you've noticed, and I wouldn't want you to admit them on the air. Some skills had to diminish. How have you improved with some physical fitness maybe leaving you, what has made you a fighter that can go into your 40s? Because this is typically, you don't see what you and Bernard Hopkins are doing in boxing because it's just a grueling sport.
Right. Well, the one thing that they always said, with age, you lose speed and, reaction and stuff, and I don't see that going. I don't see that happening with me. The one thing that I would say is that I'm not as mobile as I used to be, which also is a good thing, because a lot of people didn't think that I had any power in my punches, and it probably was true because I wasn't sitting on any of my punches. So the things that I've lost, I've gained in other aspects. So I'm becoming a much more well-rounded fighter, that I'm not just being a boxer now, that I'm getting to be a fighter.
Well, what brought you into the sport to begin with?
Actually, that was funny because my brother, Javon, did karate growing up, and I did dance. I was going to be my father's a professional dancer, and I wanted to be a dancer. And that was my study. That was my goal. And I got injured when I was 19. Blew out my knee, a torn meniscus. And my brother just said, come on, do some karate, because I was always athletic. And I got into that, but for me, it wasn't as, I have to say, competitive. Mm-hmm. And he got into kickboxing, and then I did that. And my first kickboxing match, I had to fight a boxer. And whenever she came in on the inside, I didn't know what to do. So I actually got into boxing to get my hands better for kickboxing.
So
it just has gone from there.
Let me make sure I have this right. Dancing blew your knee out and took you out of commission. In boxing, you've never even been knocked down.
Right.
Ah, okay. All right, just making sure I understood that.
She's using the Floyd Mayweather technique of if you don't get hit, you're going to go far.
So by her statistics, dancing is a much more dangerous activity than boxing.
And that's just it. I wanted to be a dancer all my life.
It is more grueling.
Wow.
That's great. I have to ask you, because you are a trainer at Gleason's Gym and work out there, I have to ask you about the men's landscape right now. Who do you like out there to take over when Floyd Mayweather does step down here, if it's after these two fights or it's a little bit longer? Who are the next superstars to carry the sport? Because the sport has to have more superstars to keep it going.
Right, that is the thing. That is so true. And that's the thing. There's such a dearth in it. There's this gaping hole, and there's not really anyone that I'm so enamored with.
Mm-hmm. So
and that's the bad thing. We really need, some spark.
Someone to take over that spotlight.
Yeah, and I'm not too enamored with the lot that's out there. Sad to say.
So
the women need to take over.
Hey,
well, there you go. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining us a little bit here, Alicia. Greatly appreciate it. It's Alicia Slick Ashley. You do have a website, aliciaslickashley.com, and maybe come in Detroit and maybe one of your last few fights here. Come fight in Detroit. We'd love to have you.
I would love to come.
That would be amazing.
It would be great. We don't pay as much as Germany. I'm just telling you, they're really quick. But
that's fine. The fact of the matter is, I just love boxing, and at this point, I'm that expectant to be a millionaire in this sport.
Just so we're clear, though,
the next generation will. The next set.
Yeah,
that's right.
Just so we're clear, though, if Germany calls, take that call. But if not, come fight in Detroit.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We were joined by Alicia Slick Ashley.
Thanks for listening to our clip show. Remember, the only way to hear the full interviews is to tune into our show Tuesdays from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Sundays from noon to 1 on www.rawradiox.com or on the TuneIn app.